There we go. There we go. There we go. Now it's working. All right. How are you guys? So glad to have you guys here. Closing down some windows, and we're going to jump right in. Well, guys, hey, it's so glad to have you guys here. If you are here and in the chat room, go ahead and let me know who you are. If you guys are on live and where you are calling from, we're going to jump right in. Today is lesson number 2, although it's my first lesson with you live. And so what's up, Danny? What's up, Michelle? So glad to have you guys here, and really excited about this training. Now, let's take care of a little housekeeping. Before we go. One is some of you guys are wanting to know where the membership portal is. Where's the membership portal? It's coming. In fact, I'm going to give you a little sneak peek here in just a little bit so you can see it. Let me just go ahead and open it up. But it's almost done. I just got a few little tweaks. These kinds of things are huge, and so it's not going to be 100% done when I launch, but I want it to be enough done so you're not completely confused with this. So I'm going to give you a little sneak preview just so you can see what it's going to look like. You guys want to see what it's going to look like? If you don't, I mean, that's okay too. I mean, nothing wrong with that. How can I see rows there? Nope. Yep. I'm gonna hide that. Save that. Save that. Here you go. Okay, so I think I can show you this. If I pull this out like that, I think I can share my screen. And I can show you this right here. Okay, so this is going to be the inside of the membership portal. I still have to film a video for right here, but I got my little welcome message in there already. So you can see that, and then you got a way to join the Facebook group, and then these are going to be the portals. So we have coaching calls. So anytime you have a coaching call, you'll be able to click here and get it. Resource Vault, all the resources that we put together. They'll be here. The tools and resources we put together, those will be here. The learning track, you're going to see, I'll give you a little peek into this in just a minute. This is the track that we're following on during our live coaching. So you'll have the coaching call, and then you'll have the learning track. What's the difference between the two? The coaching calls are just simply the teaching. The learning track is a methodology for you to follow. How-to tutorials, there's going to be a lot of little things that we're going to want that we'll spend a little bit of time on the calls, but you're going to want to know a little bit more of those. So we'll get you some of these how-to tutorials, and then of course done for you services. So this is a little bit of what the homepage is going to look like. I'm getting there. It'll tell you what's next right here. So today says what's next is Wednesday, June 30th. So when we're done with the call, that'll update to June 20th. Okay, and so you can just sort of see what everything is. And of course, when you click on these, everything will be done. Let me show you if I can. I don't know if I can. I don't know if this is set up to launch. We'll try it. We'll try it. Okay, I'm hitting the button and nothing's happening. So I'm guessing that it's not ready to launch. So I won't show you inside it yet, but that's the homepage of where we are going. So it's super excited to do that. Danny says, I need the CSS code to make the boxes pop out like that. Well, Danny, here's the cool thing about that. That funnel that you just saw is a funnel that Russell Brunson hired me to make. He hired me and a few other people around the world to redesign all of the templates inside ClickFunnels. And we've been spending the better part of the last 2.5 weeks on membership funnels, and that is my offer to the ClickFunnels world. And so you're going to be able to have that, and you won't need any CSS coding for that, because that will be a free template inside of ClickFunnels that you'll be able to use and edit and change and adapt to your heart's desire, and you won't need any coding for it. So that's super cool. So yes, that's there. So we'll find out when they roll it out to the world, but that's what it looks like. So pretty cool. All right, guys. Well, hey, let's jump in here and let's just get to some training today. I don't know if you guys have ever had any type of trouble before, but holy heck, am I having trouble today. Everything, like Murphy's Law, if anything can go wrong, it is going wrong. And so I go to launch my PowerPoint today, and it tells me that my Office 365 subscription is expired. And then I go to update it, and it won't let me update it. See right here, activate Office to create and edit by Office. I've already bought it, and I go to activate it, and it won't let me activate it. So it's aggravating. So you get to see my slides a little bit like this. I can't edit them. I can't do anything with them. This is all I can do. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. All right, so grab a pencil and piece of paper. I'm going to give you a little teaching, and then we're going to do a little recap from last week, and then we're going to get into your homework assignment from last week. How many of you did your homework assignment? Oh, wait. I know how many of you did your homework assignment because I saw the 4 of you out of 37. I saw the 4 of you actually post it, and so we have to have a better homework completion ratio than 4 out of 37. Okay, so we do have to get a little bit better than that. So, but we'll go over your homework today, and we gave you guys some assignments. We'll be looking at those in a little bit. But let's jump here and let's look at this. Here's what you have to know: is that there is no better way to grow your list or to sell your product than with a webinar. Okay, no better way. You can't do it. You can't come to me and say, hey, I think a free plus shipping funnel is better than a webinar. Hey, I think this funnel is better webinar. No, it is hands down proven over the course of the last 5 years that the best way to grow a list, that's in other words, get people in your email database and to sell a product rapidly, is through a webinar. But there comes a lot of trepidation when it comes to webinars, as we talked about last week. There's a lot of fear, okay? Fear of the unknown. What if I bomb? What if I spend all this money and nobody shows up? Worse yet, what if they show up and then they don't buy? Like, okay? And so what we want to do is we want to say a lot of those fears can be alleviated when you put together a very well-designed system. Now, I'm going to be using my I'll be using my whiteboard a lot today, and no laughing at me. Because I'm going to have to do it with my mouse because for whatever reason, it's not letting my Apple Pen connect. But I'm going to be showing you some things. But there is a word that I want you to write just right off the top here. And we're going to go to it. I think I can do it like this, okay? We're going to go to it right now. And the word that I want you to write is the word system. Is the word system. Well, you have to know about what we are trying to do is that we are not trying to build an event. A webinar is not an event. Okay, it's not. A webinar is a system, and I don't know why this won't let me move that, but a webinar is a system. Okay, so you need to remember that it's a system. It's not an event, and I can't emphasize that to you enough. Where people get in trouble is they get in trouble when they believe that a webinar is an event. So in other words, hey, I'm going to do it on such and such date at such and such time, and I'm going to put all my eggs in this basket. I'm going to move to this event. Bam, we go to the event, we teach, we train, we sell. Oh my God, nothing happened. We didn't make any sales. So now, like, give me an ice pick, let me stab it in my eye because my life is over. No. A webinar is not an event. It's not a one-time thing. It's not something where you launch up and launch, where you ramp up and launch on this one particular day and then it's all over. No, if you do that, I promise you, you're going to have more gray hair than you're ever going to want. You're going to be aggravated. You're going to be frustrated because your first webinar is probably not going to make you $1 million, okay? But it's not designed to make you $1 million. A good, solid webinar is a system. So it'll have a beginning, it will have an ending, and it's going to have multiple moving steps in between, okay? So there's a beginning, there's an ending, and there's multiple moving steps in between. But even when it's done, it's not done. Because even when it's done, we're going to show you how to leverage that product. And when you're done with it, it's actually just the beginning. Why? Because it's not an event. If you think about an event, you go to a concert, okay? You know, who's in town? You know, U2's in town. and hey, I can't wait to go see them down at the arena. And what day is it? Oh, it's July 17th. Oh, what time? It's at 7:30, probably end about midnight. Okay, so you gear up, you buy your tickets, and you pay your money, you get your tickets, you get a babysitter, you pick out an outfit, you pre-plan the food, you invite your friend, you get your Lyft and your Uber or whatever. So that's a system. So if it was an event, you know when it is, where it is, what's going to happen at that event, and then you can reverse engineer that process, and you can go step by step by step by step by step. But what happens at the end of the concert? At the end of the concert, it's done. It's over. Sayonara, baby. And unless you're going to go to the next city with you two, it's over. Okay, it's over. And there is a sense of accomplishment when it's an event. When it's an event, it's just, I did that. I'm done with that. I wonder what's on Netflix, right? Well, with the webinar, if you view it that way, you're going to be able to create a system. You'll have a date on the calendar. You'll be able to move to that date on the calendar, but you're putting a lot of eggs in that one particular event. And what I'm going to tell you is more times than not, people who do that fail. So you have to know that even though there is no better way to grow your list or to sell your product with a webinar, if you look at webinar as an event, you will fail. But if you can look at it as a system, you won't fail. Because even if it doesn't produce you all the income that you're wanting on day one, you still have step after step after step after step after step and tweak, and it can continue to work for you forever. So a webinar is not an event, it is a system. And then not only is it a system, but it becomes the largest asset your business will ever own. Okay, it can become now, and I don't know how to move these things. Like, you would think I'd be able to move this. Okay, I'm sure there's a better way to do that, but okay, it'll become the largest asset that your business will ever own. Okay, and so you have to understand that. And I'm sorry I can't move this. I want to move it right there, and my he's not letting me. Oh well, who cares? Okay, so it is a system. It is not an event, and when it's done, it becomes the largest asset your business will ever own. And when it's over, it's just beginning. Okay, and once again, I'm sorry this it won't let me move these, so I do apologize about this, but we're just going to do it this way. Okay, but once I close out of it, it won't let me back into it. Okay, so when it's over, it's just beginning. Okay, so it is a system. It's not an event. It will become the largest asset your business will ever own, and when it's over, it's not over. It's just simply the beginning. If you can look at a webinar like this, that what you're doing over the next 12 weeks is you are building a product that you ultimately will own. You're building an asset for your business, then your mindset will shift drastically. Okay, because you're not going to put all your eggs in one little basket. Okay, what you're going to do is you are going to you're going to put the energy and effort into this just like you would any other product. So let's talk a little bit about this. Okay, Danny says, "Hey Chad, you're good at teaching. Have you ever thought about doing it for a living?" Thank you. Liz says, "Oh boy, I failed." What did you fail at, Liz? Tell me. Okay, so are you with me? So you have to understand that this is a system. Okay, so I want you to write on a sheet of paper somewhere. I want you to write out, this is a system. That's what I'm going to teach you over the next 11 weeks. I'm not going to teach you an event. I'm going to teach you a system. Okay, and the system you'll be able to have forever. It will become the largest asset your business will ever own, and when it's over, it's just the beginning. Okay. Are we with me on that? Okay. So what I want to do, as we do a little recapping, is we're going to build out and we're going to look at and see what this entire system looks like today. Okay. We're going to try to lay out an entire flow for you so you can see on one sheet of paper what your entire system is going to look like. Now, when we do that, I guarantee you that you are going to be completely overwhelmed. Okay. So I need you guys to say right now, give yourself permission to be overwhelmed. Say, it's okay to be overwhelmed because you are going to be overwhelmed today. But we don't have to do all this today. We have 11 weeks to you and I get to work together to create this system. But I want you to see a 35,000 foot view of the overall webinar system that you are going to be creating. In fact, I really want us to get in the habit of using that phraseology, webinar system, webinar system, webinar system. Now, when it comes to a system, okay, you have three aspects. Okay. First thing is you are going to have what we call the strategy. Okay. You're going to have the strategy. Now, what is this? What is the strategy? Okay. So the strategy is what we're going to put together that's going to allow you to be able to implement the system. Okay. So this is the strategy. It's the big picture. So I've got a game plan and I'm going to work that plan. I'm going to create the strategy. Second is what we would call a tactic. Okay, a tactic. Okay, tactic is what I'm going to hone in a little bit, and tactic is the methodology that I'm going to use to implement that system. Okay, so I have a strategy. It's the big overall picture, 35,000 foot view. Tactic is this is what I'm going to use in order to fulfill the strategy. Okay, and then the third one is what we call the outcome. Okay, or this is a better way, the result. Okay, the result. Okay, so I'm going to create with my system. I'm going to say, here's my 35,000 foot view. Here's what I'm going to do to fulfill the strategy, and then here's the result that I want once I have fulfilled the strategy. Okay, you ready? So a system has these three components to it when we build it. So the strategy is what we're going to build today. Okay, we're going to build the 35,000 foot view today. The tactic, and we'll briefly touch on it today, but the tactic is, this is how I'm going to implement. This is the step-by-step outline that I'm going to use to implement and to fulfill my strategy. Okay, so we're going to use a webinar. We're going to do it on camera, or we're going to do a slide deck, or whatever we're going to do. We're going to do it on Webinar Jam or whatever. Okay. And then the result is sort of what we worked on last week. The result is when all of this is done, here is my final product that I'm going to have to offer to the world. And the result is when I offer that to the world then is going to offer me money back in return. So this is sort of what we're doing. This could also be a cyclical, strategy, tactic, result, strategy, tactic, result. But just for the time being, just for our coaching today, we're going to look at it this way. So let's jump in right now to the strategy, okay, to the strategy. So we said that there's no better way to grow your list or to sell your product than with a webinar. Last week, we said that the different types of webinars that you have a scripted lecture. This is where you literally type out, okay, word for word. Now, this is part of the tactic. Word for word, what you're going to say. You put it on a teleprompter. You look into a camera, or you use a podcast mic. I got my podcast mic in today, by the way. I'm so excited about this. You have no idea how excited I am. This is my little podcast mic. This is a Electro Voice 720. It's an RE20. And it's one of the best ones that you can have on the market, and I can't wait to get it all plugged in. I'm going to do my first interview with it tomorrow. It's going to make me sound amazing, but all kinds of stuff is coming in for this. Okay, but some of you are going to do the scripted lecture where you're going to write it out and you're going to read it into a microphone or into a camera. Then you can have the interview. Some of you are going to do the interview. This is where the tactic you're going to use is where you are going to interview an expert, or someone's going to interview you. Okay, the third is what we call a hybrid, which this is a mixture of the two, like where some of it is where you bring a guy like me on to do the welcome and the intro, and then you teach, you lecture the teaching, and then an expert goes and does all the selling for you, okay? Some of you are going to do a Q&A type webinar where you're going to just try to figure out what it is that your audience wants, so you'll do that. And then some of you will do the partnership webinar. This is where you don't have any product to sell. We'll get a lot into this in just a minute, but you don't have any product that to sell whatsoever, so you're going to partner with somebody and you're going to sell their product to your audience. These are just the different types of tactics that you can use to fulfill the strategy, okay? Last week we talked about how Some of you need to make decisions on, am I going to teach slide deck only, or am I going to teach on camera? Okay, or am I going to teach picture in picture? We're going to get to the tactic eventually that talks about the entire webinar flow. We're not going to get to that today. What we're going to get today is this funnel. And so what I want to do is the tactic is the second part of of the overall scheme, but we actually worked on the tactic last week on how you're going to do this. Okay. How you're going to implement. That's what it was last week. Today, I want to step back and I want to look at the bigger picture, and let's look at the funnel. So if you have a pencil and piece of paper, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get here and I'm going to open up my Canva. Okay, and we're going to design, and it's going to get messy. Okay, this is live coaching. This is messy. It's not designed to be pretty. Okay, so let me find you guys here. I got to close some windows. There's too many windows open. There we go. There we go. Okay, so let me find you guys, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my Canva here. I'm going to share my screen, and what we're going to do is we're going to build your system together. Okay, you guys ready to roll? Let's build this together. Trying to let's close down my. Okay, so we're just going to use a blank presentation. You guys can't see this. That's what you want to see. Okay, so we're just going to use a blank presentation. So we're going to create a design, and we're going to build the overall gist of what we're doing. Okay. So here we go. So let's first and foremost start with the easy part, which is the funnel itself. Okay. So the funnel itself is 4 pages. Okay. I don't know why that's. There you go. The main funnel itself is only 4 pages. Okay. The first page that you have in the funnel is what we call the webinar registration page. Okay. The webinar registration page. And where is that? There's the webinar broadcast. There's the webinar replay. There's the webinar thank you. Now I'm looking for the webinar registration. It's probably right here in front of me, and I'm not seeing it at all. Well, just for time's sake, we'll just use this one right here. So the main funnel itself is like a webinar registration, and then it's going to go over here to what we call a webinar countdown or thank you page. Then the funnel is going to have a broadcast, okay, and then it's going to have a replay. Okay, so these are the 4 big components of our funnel. I'll make these a little bit bigger so you can see them. Okay, so these are the 4 big pages. So we can click funnels or lead pages or builder all or whatever it is you're using. These are the 4 main components that you are going to build inside that product. Okay, but somewhere along the line we are going to have to get some traffic. Okay, and so we may use like a Facebook ad. We may use what else? We may use our LinkedIn. Okay. I thought I had a paid Facebook, but it doesn't look like I do. I thought I had a Facebook with a $sign on it, but I don't. Okay. So we may use our Facebook page. We may use our LinkedIn. We may use our Instagram. We may use whatever. Okay, you can use any in all of this. Okay, you may use email. Okay, you may use. That's actually the one you should use right here. Okay, you can use all of these, right? So if you want to, and this is all traffic. Okay, so somewhere along the line, we're going to be driving traffic to something, okay? So we're going to be driving traffic to something. Now, one strategy is that we can just simply drive, if we want to, we can simply drive traffic just directly to a registration page if you want to. So you can run a Facebook ad, okay? And if you want to, that Facebook ad can send people directly to a registration page, and that registration page will then send them to the thank you page, and that thank you page then that thank you page then is going to do a couple things, okay? So on the thank you page, we're going to do a few things. If this is like a live webinar, okay, it's going to tell them when it is, where it is, how it is, here's the ticket information, etc. If it's not, like if it's an auto webinar, okay, that thank you page is going to be really quickly. It's going to have a very short countdown on it, and then it's going to redirect them to what we call the broadcast room, and then eventually we're going to send them a replay, okay? So if you look at this, when they're on here, there's some things that we're going to want to do, okay? And I'm going to show you this on my PowerPoint before we move on, okay? Some things that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do what's called a, can I do this? Okay, can you see this? This is the overall funnel. This is what Russell Brunson has in his cookbook. So you have a webinar registration, webinar funnel, webinar replay, and then you have an indoctrination sequence. But you'll see down here a little bitty, he's got this little thing that's called automation. Let's look at that automation, okay? On this automation, what you're going to want is you're going to want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 emails, okay? This is what we call our onboarding sequence, okay? The onboarding sequence has 7 emails. Email 1 is, hey, you're in. Email 2 is a reminder. Email 3 is it's personal. Email 4 is today's the day. Email 5 is 60 minutes until go time. Email 6 is our 15-minute warning. And email 7 is our we're live. And so there is going to be 7 emails that we send them. If you go back to the Canva now, 7 emails that we send them once they register. So once they register, there's going to be 7 emails that we send them, okay? So if you come here and you do this, and then we just put a little text here, and we're going to put a little body, bring this down here, and we're going to paste that. I'm going to take this, I'm going to go left justified, okay? And we're going to make this like a 10, okay? So here are the emails that you're going to send them right here, okay? So you're going to send them once they register. There we go. So once they register, you're going to send them an email, and these are the emails that are going to be in there. Are you with me? So there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, when we get to the email portion of it, we'll talk about when they go out, you know, et cetera, what should be in them. We have templates for all of these, so we're going to build all of these together in the coaching process, so don't sweat it, okay? But so we're going to drive traffic to a webinar registration page. From the webinar registration page, we are then going to send them 7 emails called the onboarding sequence, okay? Called the onboarding sequence. So that's what this is right here. This is called the onboarding sequence, okay? And once again, don't sweat all this. We're going to build this together when we get there, but that's what that email sequence is, okay? So they go from your traffic to your registration page, to your thank you page, okay? And then while they're waiting for the webinar, they're going to get these 7 emails, okay? Are you with me? Okay, now let me show you my PowerPoint. If you guys have questions, go ahead and put them in there. I'll get to them in just a minute, okay? Okay, so that's the onboarding sequence. Then you're going to have what's called the follow-up sequence, okay? The follow-up sequence. Now, the follow-up sequence, this has at least 6 emails that are in the follow-up sequence, okay? You're like, holy heck, that's a lot of emails. Heck yeah, it is. But why is the follow-up sequence so important? The reason why the follow-up sequence is so important is because research tells us that 40 to 50% of your sales will come after the webinar, not on the webinar. And so it's important that we have a very well designed and structured follow-up sequence. Okay, let me send this to the back so I can get this little bad boy here. Okay, so now where does the follow-up sequence go? Okay, so if we're going to have one, you got to know where it's going to go. Okay, so the follow-up sequence is going to come after. I'm going to put them like this so you can see this. Okay, after the webinar broadcast. Okay. So we do a webinar broadcast, we do the follow-up sequence, and here are the emails in the follow-up sequence. First, you're going to have a webinar replay, okay? Limited time only, and there's a special bonus, okay? Then you're going to remind them, hey, don't forget, there's a replay. Then hey, last chance to get that replay, okay? Or last chance to get the bonus, okay? And then you have what's called the gain, fear, logic sequence, okay? So that's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 emails right here in the follow-up sequence that are going to come after your webinar, okay? And I'm going to just put this down here like this. It probably make more sense to be right here, okay? It's going to come, it's going to come after your webinar, okay? There we go. Okay, so we watch the broadcast. After the broadcast, we send this follow-up sequence with the webinar replay, and we have 6 emails. Okay, it's incredibly important that we have those. Now, let's move on. Once again, if you have questions, put them in there. I'm going to get right to them. Okay. So then, after your follow-up sequence, okay, which are the 2 big, sequence that we use. After that, then we're going to make sure that we have our bonuses in order. Now, we're going to get to bonuses in just a little bit, but I want to show you one thing that you're going to be able to you can create that'll make sure that you have all of these bonuses. So what we say is you need at least 5 bonuses on a webinar. 5. You're like, holy heck, Chad, that's a lot of bonuses. I know, but here's the 5. 1, you need a sign-up bonus, okay? What you get when you register for this free workshop when I talk about this, and get this. Show up on time. Hey guys, listen, I've only got room for 100 people, and it's important that you're there. Plus, some of my best stuff is going to be at the beginning, and I'm going to give this bonus only to the people who are on when I start, no later than 5 minutes after. Okay, so here's what you're going to get if you show up on time. Why is it imperative if they show up on time? Because chances are if they show up on time, they're going to stay till the end. Speaking of stay to the end, then you're going to want to stay until the end bonus. This is a bonus that you're going to create for them that they're going to be able to have if they stick around at the end. Now, why do we want them to stick around at the end? The reason why we want them to stick around at the end is because we want to sell them something, right? And we can't sell them something if they're not there at the end. So we're going to give them a really big perk for sticking around till the end. Now, we want them to buy and buy and buy right now. Even though we know 40 to 50% of all purchases will come post-webinar, we want to capture the 50% who are going to buy right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to sweeten the pot, and we're going to give them a stinking sweet bonus if they purchase right now. Okay, if they purchase right now, we're going to give them a stinking sweet bonus. And then there's an upsell that we're going to do on our webinar, and we're going to incentivize them to buy that upsell. So this is why you need 5 bonuses or 5 ethical bribes. The reason is because you want these bonuses to be so good that people want them, that they would actually spend the money on your product, if nothing else, but to get the bonuses. That's how good these bonuses are, okay? So when you come back to look at your funnel, your overall funnel system, okay, you got to look at the system with the end in mind. Where is it at? You got to look at the system with the end in mind right here. And you got to figure out, okay, where do my bonuses go? Okay, where do my bonuses go? Now, in your Facebook ad right here, okay, you are going to tease or hint toward a bonus. You will advertise that bonus right here on your landing page. Okay, so if I had a, I'm just going to use a subheading here, and we're just going to use this. We're just going to call this B, okay? And then we're going to make this, you know, an orange color right here so it stands out. And we're going to make this maybe like 12 so it sticks out. But like, where am I going to use this bonus at, okay? So everywhere you see this B, you're going to want to make sure that you strategically talk about the bonus. So the first bonus that you're going to give is going to be right here when they register, okay? When they register. Now, this bonus, you're going to advertise it. So orange is going to be advertising, okay? Okay, and then red will be deliver. So we're going to advertise it right there, but we're actually going to deliver, okay? We're actually going to deliver that bonus right here in, oh, I'm sorry, right here in the second, I said first, but I meant second. Right here in the second email. Now, why do I want to deliver the bonus in the second email? The reason why I want to deliver the bonus in the second email is to get them to open the email, okay? We want them literally to open every one of these emails because they've all got a strategic point and purpose behind it, okay? And so what better way to get them to open an email from you than to let them know that there's going to be something free in it for them, okay? So we deliver that bonus in the second email. So in the first email, we say, hey, congratulations, you're registered for my free webinar. You're in. Here are the details. Oh, by the way, tomorrow, be sure to check your inbox because I'm going to be sending that bonus I promised you tomorrow, okay? So that's the curiosity loop that you create in the first email to get them to open the second email. Why is that important? Because chances are if they'll open the second email, they're going to open the third email just to see if there's something special in it, okay? And so with those 3 emails, the first email, second email, you're going to have told a story about problem and pain. We'll go over that in our 12-step strategic operation process, but you'll have told that story, okay, in those 3 emails. So what we learn is if you can deliver a bonus in the second email, they're probably going to open the first email anyway because it's coming right after they register and they think the bonus is going to be in there. But in that email, you're going to tell them, look in your inbox tomorrow, we're going to put a bonus in there. So then when they get that, they're going to be curious and they're going to open that. So we know they're going to open up the first 2 emails and probably going to get a little bit indoctrinated on the problem that you're going to be solving on the webinar. And the third day, what we know is that's typically a very high open rate because they just got a bonus yesterday, and so they're curious to know whether you threw one in today. So if we can get them to open those 3 emails, honestly, we don't even care about the last 4 because we're not selling anything, we're not doing anything, but just reminding them, hey, today's the day. You want to show up, get on live, go, 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 be there, be there. Oh, 1 hour until we get there. Oh, 15 minutes till we get there. Hey, we're live. Have you joined us yet, right? So that's how powerful that bonus is in the second email. So we're gonna advertise it right here in this one, and just so for the sake of everything, we're gonna go B1 here, and then we're gonna go B1 here, okay? And then we're gonna deliver it right there. Now let's go back to our PowerPoint, okay? The second bonus is the show up on time bonus, okay? The show up on time bonus. So we're gonna call this B2, okay? We're gonna call this B2. So if I take B2, okay, if I take B2, I'm going to advertise B2. Okay, I'm going to advertise B2 right here, and then I'm going to advertise a few other places as well, okay? I'm going to advertise it in it's personal. Well, let's just say I'm going to advertise it everywhere, okay? Don't forget, if you show up on time, that we got something special for you, okay? So we're going to advertise it, if I can get this in here. We're going to advertise it right there. We're going to advertise it right here. We're going to advertise it, oops, right here. And we're going to advertise it right here. Now, why am I advertising it so many times? One, because we know not everybody's going to open every email. Okay, but two, because it's that important. Psychology tells us that if they can be there early, okay, then chances are they will stay there late. People who aren't really interested, and not only will they stay there late, but they'll probably buy your stuff. People who aren't interested in your stuff, they come late and they leave early, okay? Because it's just whatever, okay? But if we can advertise it now 5 different times, okay, you can see this. They're getting the hint that if they show up on time, that we are going to deliver the goods. Now, when do I deliver this, okay? I deliver this on my webinar, and I deliver this at, and you'll see this in your thing, at the 10 minute mark, okay? So I deliver this at the 10-minute mark. I'm just going to put 10 minutes just so it's not so big, okay? Okay, so I deliver this at the 10-minute mark, okay? Now, why is that important? The reason why is because just like today, every once in a while people has a little bit of tech trouble, they struggle getting on, okay, and you really want to incentivize them because in the end, you want to be really generous. You want to be really generous with them at the beginning because the law of reciprocity. You give, then you can get, okay? So you really want everybody to get that bonus, but you want to stay true to your word as well. And so what you'll do is you'll come up with a link for that, and you'll put that link right in the chat room, okay? And you'll have them get that right in the chat room, okay? Now, why is that important? The reason is because the chat room is so powerful to your webinar, you want to begin getting them engaged and using the chat room. So I like to deliver that second bonus at the 10-minute mark in the chat room, okay? In the chat room. So now the third bonus, if you remember that one, that's the stay until the end bonus, okay? Stay until the end bonus. So if we take this one here, okay, let me make this red. Okay. Now, if we take this one here, now this is bonus number 3, okay? Bonus number 3. Okay, now this is called the stay until the end bonus. Where do you think we deliver that one? Okay, well, yeah, you got it, Johnny. Okay, we stayed. We're going to deliver that at the very end. Now, you're going to be teasing this. Oh, I can't get it where I want it to go. You're going to be teasing that, and you're going to give them a link to this, you know, right before you exit. Okay, right before you exit. Okay. Now the nice thing is a lot of these software programs that we're going to use to build our webinar, you can actually pre-program these in the system itself, and it will fire. You can say, send this to anybody who was on at this particular time, send this to anybody who was on at this particular time, and like programs like Webinar Jam, EverWebinar, GoToWebinar, they'll just do that for you automatically. Okay. So you're going to deliver that right there, but you're also going to deliver that in your first email. Okay, now, come on. That's the delivery. Where do we promote it? Okay, we don't even promote that one until they get on the webinar. Okay, that's it. We don't even promote it. We don't do any publicity for this. Okay, we don't really promote that one until they get on the webinar, and that's included in our slide deck that says, oh, by the way, you know, thank you so much for coming. Here's your, you know, here's your bonus that we told you for coming. You know, oh, I'm going to sweeten the pot. I want you to stick around at the end, because at the end I'm going to be telling you about my system, and in order to help you with that, you're going to need X, Y, or Z. Okay, and so what you can do then is you can pitch it right there at this particular level. It's the first time they even heard about it, but it will increase their curiosity to get them to stick around for the bonus. Okay, number 4. Okay, the purchase now bonus. Okay, purchase now bonus. Well, that's pretty simple. Okay, we're going to advertise that right here at the. We're going to advertise it right here on the chat, but we're going to deliver that in what we call another follow-up sequence. Let me copy this. Okay, and this is what we call the fulfillment sequence. Okay, the fulfillment sequence. Okay, this fulfillment sequence, when you're done with everything, this goes only to the people who purchased. Okay, so let's make sure that we're clear on that. Only to customers. Okay, only to the people who purchased. Okay, and this is triggered. You know, this is triggered, and the title of this one is, you know, thank you for purchasing. Okay. And then once again, you want them to open your next email. Why do you want them to open your next email? The reason why you want to open the next is because you want to sell them more stuff, because you probably have 2 or 3 upsells that you're going to be giving them in the funnel. Chances are they didn't take it. So if they can open the email, then you have an opportunity to sell them more stuff. Okay, which is good. So you're going to advertise. So here we go. This is so only to customers. So thank you for purchasing. This one here is special bonus inside. Okay. Okay, and this is where you fulfill the before. Okay. You're going to fulfill this before in the second email sequence right here. Okay. Okay, and then now what's crazy about this little special bonus right here is this special bonus is going to be the catalyst to you selling more stuff. Okay, so you're going to say, I don't know, let's make something up. Let's say that this bonus is a free 30-minute video training with workbook on something. Okay, you'll give a special bonus in here. Hey, as promised, here is your bonus for purchasing on the webinar. We're so thankful and grateful for you. In this free live or in this free workshop, I talk about this, and this. As a special gift to you, we put together a listening guide and workbook that you can use to follow along. Click this link to get it, okay? And then what that's going to do then is that's going to take them to the landing page where they're going to be able to get the bonus 4. Now, why do we want to do landing page on bonus 4? Okay, think about that. Why would we want to do that? Okay, the reason why we want to do a landing page is because we can have a built-in upsell. You know, hey, thank you so much for doing this. Here's this as promised. You know, if in case you missed it on the webinar, you know, we also have this great funnel system. Check it out. Or we also have this membership site. Check it out. It's free for 7 days. Okay, so you can actually sell them something in the form of a bonus right here. Okay, so this is why we on this before, if I can get to it, there we go. On this before, we're gonna sell on landing page. And close that. Okay, the reason is because if we sell a landing page, we can have an upsell. Okay, one more thing, and then I'm going to look at the chat. Okay, and then the final one is the get the upsell button. Get the upsell bonus. Excuse me. Get the upsell bonus. Once again, you're going to sell that. You're going to advertise it right smack dab on the webinar. Okay. And then you are going to fulfill that one in your fulfillment sequence, okay? In your fulfillment sequence right here. This is really its own fulfillment sequence, but just to not clutter it, we're going to just put all items. For any item that you're going to sell, you're going to create a fulfillment email. And if you're using ClickFunnels, you can put it right in ClickFunnels, a fulfillment email that will trigger when they buy, okay? And if they have a bonus, well, then you're going to, once again, you're going to trigger this, okay? You're going to trigger this right here for the bonus as well, okay? So this is before, and then this one right here is going to be B5. Okay, so once again, we're trying to get the overall picture. I know it's a little overwhelming, so hang in there for me, okay? Hang in there for me. I want you to see the big picture of everything that we're doing, okay? So this is really where you're going. This is the big, gigantic picture. Now, there's more to this. We're not done yet, okay? But we're going to stop right here, and we're going to catch our breath, okay? And we're going to do part 2 in just a minute, okay? Let's see. You're the man, not me. Watch last week's. Oh boy, I fell. Hey, Chad, you're good at okay. Those templates are preloaded in Canva. No, Michelle, they're not. You can purchase those through a system called Funnel Flows. Okay, I can't remember how much they are. They're really inexpensive. And then what they do is they're going to give you images that they want you to put in Photoshop, and I'm like, that's way too crazy. So I just exported them as PNG files and imported them into Canva. Okay, just because it's nice and simple for me. But there's also Funnelytics. That's a free program, and you can build that up in Funnelytics. Okay. Danny says we are looking at your slide deck still. Uh-oh. Since you are going to be reading this in a bit, the 2 comments below. Okay. Are we going to get a PDF of this? Eventually you will. Yeah. All this stuff will eventually get built out and put in our tools and resources as we go. It's not available right this moment because we're building this as we go. Okay. But you will get it. What questions do you have up to this point right here? Okay. Because I'm going to build the second part for you here in just a moment. But what do you have for me? I know there's a pretty lengthy latency delay in here, so I will wait just for a few minutes in case you guys are typing. But I want to show you the second part of this. But as you can see, this is a big deal, okay? Webinars aren't quick, aren't simple, aren't easy, okay? But if you can see it, you can take that thing and you can assign yourself a little bit to do each and every day, and then it's not overwhelming. If you're going to try to do all this the night before you're launching, yeah, that's a little bit crazy, okay? Okay, so now this is the big bad boy, okay? Now let me see if I can do this. I'm going to add a new page. Okay, here we go. So you can see this. You should still be able to see them, okay? And I'm going to put this. Actually, let me see if I can do this. I'm going to put this, if I can, down here, okay? The reason why I want to put this down here is I want you to see that there is a separation between the first half and the second half, and there's this big chasm in the middle, okay? Because you're going to like this broadcast, right? This is where we're going. We're going to this thing right here. This is a big deal. But there's a big gigantic chasm in here. And the only thing that fills this chasm, the only thing that fills this chasm are these emails right here, okay? So what Russell Brunson, head of ClickFunnels, has recommended that he does. Now, I will tell you this. I've only used this with one client. We had really good success with it, but I've done 220 webinars, so I've only done this with one client. So this is relatively brand new, but I want to show you what he does. Now, this is the only images that I have for this, and so They shouldn't say product launch. They really should say indoctrination. But I want to show you this new little thing that he's put in here, and it's called indoctrination, okay? And what the indoctrination is, the indoctrination sequence says, if I can build a good enough relationship with them at the beginning, they are going to come onto the webinar anticipating what I'm teaching and anticipating to buy. And when they show up on the webinar with credit card in hand, you have done a really, really, really good job. Okay, so I'm going to put these together, and we're going to call this the indoctrination sequence, okay? Not the indoctrination video sequence, okay? So this one's the onboarding sequence, and then this one here, we're going to call this the indoctrination. Now, I'll show you what this looks like in a real funnel here in just a second. Okay, so this is the indoctrination sequence. And all it is a series of videos of you teaching, okay? Teaching little components of your process, okay, that warm them up to you. It validates you as a teacher, as an expert. It lets them see your style, lets them understand that you are going to be bringing the goods. You are going to be bringing the goods on the webinar, and it's going to be easier for them to purchase from you later on because these indoctrination sequences have either confirmed you're an expert or confirmed that you're not, okay? And if it's confirmed that you're an expert, you know what the hell you're doing, they're going to be a lot more apt to purchase from you, okay? So this is an indoctrination sequence. For many of you, I'm going to be encouraging you guys to implement this indoctrination video sequence into your funnel. Now, let me show you the client that I use this with. Okay, I'm going to see, can you guys see my ClickFunnels here? Okay, I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to tell you the results of his funnel. Now, I have, actually, I don't even, let's see. I can find it. I think it's this one right here. Yeah, okay. So this is his... this is a webinar registration that we did. This was for one of the clients. His name is Wes, and he basically teaches people how to be in special operations. So in other words, the craziest of the crazy in the military, this is what he teaches, okay? He's a badass, okay? And so this was his webinar funnel, okay? And his company was called Brotherhood Life. Here's what you're going to learn. And what he was teaching was how to face death like a man, okay? And then here's what you're going to learn inside the webinar, okay? And this is just, this isn't completely done. This was before we transferred it over to him. But here's what the unfair advantages. Here are the topics covered. Register your space, a little bit about him, enlist now, who's it for, enlist now. And then as a bonus, we said sign up and receive these 3 free bonuses. And here were the trainings that he did: how to bulletproof your entire body, how to become insanely strong, and what the military brass gets wrong about high-intensity sprint training. And this was going to be his free bonus, okay? So this was going to both double as his registration bonus and his indoctrination sequence. So you could click the button. When you click the button, you could sign up for his stuff. And when you signed up for his stuff, then it would take you to this page right here. This is his thank you page, or his webinar countdown page. As you can see, there's a countdown on it. That when this was live, it was counting down, and it would tell him what to do, okay? Number 1, mark your calendar. And number 2, watch the bonus videos, okay? And you can click on this button right here, and then you were brought to, oh, there we go. You were brought to, I don't know what's going on with the video. It says cannot load the video. The video is not available. Okay, there's a big video right here. Typically, he's taking it down, obviously. Okay, to the limited time bonus, part 1, how to bulletproof your body fast. And you can watch video 1, you can watch video 2, you could watch video 3, okay? So you come here, there would be video 2, then you come here, and bam, there would be video 3. Obviously, those 3 videos are taken down right now, but this was the one where we did that. Now, this guy had like crazy, insane results, okay? He actually only got a few people, the very first webinar that he did, he only got a few people to register. How many, you say? He had 31, okay? Which wasn't a ton. Okay, no, let me rephrase that. He got 31 people to show up to his webinar. So he had like 50 something register, and he had 31 people on. Okay, but out of the 31 people that were on, it was in the 20s, in the low 20s, of how many of those 31 people watched all 3 of his videos. Okay, so for him, he watched. This is actually 4. This should only be 3. For him, he got, what is that? 70% of his registered audience to watch his videos, and then out of the 31 people that showed up to his event, he sold 15. Okay, so he sold 45% of everybody who was on his webinar, and it wasn't a cheap ticket. Okay, his ticket price was $5,000. Okay, his training that you're seeing there is a $5,000 coaching. And the very first webinar that we did, he got 31 people on, and he sold 15 of them. You do the math. That's $75,000. How many of you would you say, hey, if I can make $75,000 in a webinar, holy heck, just let me do 1 or 2 webinars a year and let's call it a day, baby, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but that's pretty good money. $75,000, nothing to sneeze at. That's a lot of money. Well, he attributes a lot of that success because this guy, you have to understand, this guy was so mad at us. You have no idea how mad he was. So he had fired a marketing agency to hire us. And he was really mad at the marketing agency because when he did his webinars before, he only got like 120, 130 registrations. And here we come, and we've only got 31 people to show up, and he's really pissed off. Like, it's really it's the day of the event. He can see, like, in Webinar Jam how many people are on, and he's pissed. He's like, do you know who I am? You know what kind of stature I have? And this is an insult to have me speaking to only 31 people. Should we cancel this and just do it again another time? And I'm like, no, we can't. Because what we did was we worked incredibly hard to make sure that the right 31 people were on, okay? And I knew that he was going to have some kind of success because of the sheer numbers of people who watched his indoctrination sequence. And because we knew what the numbers were who watched it, I knew there was a pretty good chance that these people that were on there, they were going to buy. And sure enough, he got 15 people to buy $75,000, hands down a record for him of how much he sold in one day. Okay, he went on to do multiple webinars, and he did over $500,000 in his first 90 days using this webinar sequence. Okay, you're talking $500,000. How many of you would love to make $500,000 in 90 days? Okay, that's pretty good. Well, when you're selling a $5,000 product, all you got to do is sell 100 of those bad boys, and guess what? You have got $500,000 sitting in your back pocket. Okay, so that's what he did. So I have gone now where I recommend my clients to put this indoctrination sequence in there because of what it does to the mindset of the people who watch it and what it does to the relationship between the presenter and the customer. So I'm going to recommend that you put this indoctrination video sequence into what you're doing, and that indoctrination video sequence is going to come after the webinar thank you page, but before the webinar. Now, what happens if they run out of time? Let's say that they sign up for your class and the webinar's tomorrow, and they're going to get these one a day. Well, it's not a problem. Okay, these can never hurt you. They only help you. So even if they don't get through all of them, or even if they get them after they purchase, no harm, no foul, because you're not selling in them. Okay, you're not selling in these. All you're doing is you're not selling. All you're doing is indoctrinating, right? And so that's pretty simple. My daughter's blowing my phone up here. Okay, and so I want to put that indoctrination sequence right there. Okay, are you with me? Everybody with me? Okay, so I'm going to shrink this. No, well, I just pull this up. Okay, so here's how we flow. Let me flow, and then I'm going to put this piece in, and then we'll be done. Okay, so we're going to start with traffic: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, email, Google Ads, however you get your traffic. We're going to start with some kind of traffic. Now, I'm going to talk with you here in a couple weeks about building your money list, and we're going to talk about building an audience of people who can't wait for your webinar to come out, that you don't have to spend any money on to get them. Okay, we'll be talking about that. So we go traffic into your main webinar registration page, into a thank you page. Before the webinar, they get these 7 emails. Okay, day one, day 2, day 3, and then the day of the webinar. In between them, they're getting these indoctrination sequences, okay, which are on the funnel. Okay, and we send them an email link, and then they get to show up to the webinar and watch it live. And on this, you're going to be promoting bonus 2, 3, 4, and 5 right here. Okay, then they're going to get a follow-up sequence that's going to sell them, and a fulfillment sequence. You get 2 of those, or as many upsells you have. Okay, etc. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do what we call an auto webinar. Okay, an auto webinar. So once this is completed, okay, so once you have done everything, okay, then your auto webinar is going to look like this. Okay, you're going to have a registration, you're going to have a thank you for your registration, you're going to have a broadcast room, but it's going to skip all of this. Okay, so you're not going to do you're not going to do the indoctrination sequence, you're not going to do this onboarding sequence. The only thing you're going to do is the year in, that's it. Okay, and it's just going to go straight from here to here to here. Okay, and they have what they call just in time, which is when they register for an auto webinar, you're going to let them choose their time, or they can watch one within the next 10 to 15 minutes, okay? So when you do that, it's just going to be, you're going to skip the onboarding sequence, you're going to skip the indoctrination sequence, you go registration, thank you, right into the broadcast, but this is going to stay the same. The follow-up sequence and the fulfillment sequence, they stay the same with the auto webinar. So when all of this is done, this is why I say when all of this is done, you're only beginning, because when all of this is done, you're going to move it from live webinar into auto webinar, and this is going to be on autopilot. Everything is just going to flow night and day. You're going to give the Facebook gods some money. They're going to send people to your automated webinar registration page. They're going to sign up. They're going to get a thank you. They're going to watch your teaching, and then they're going to get indoctrinated on your teaching after your teaching, etc. Because I used the wrong word. They're going to get followed up with after your teaching. The reason is because we want those follow-up systems to sell your product 24/7, 365. So when you wake up, you can make some money, honey, even while you sleep. So that is the big, gigantic picture when it comes to webinars. Here's what we're missing. What we're missing is we're missing cart open, cart close, okay? Cart open, cart close. Do I have a cart on here? I don't think I have a cart on here, so we'll use one of these symbols. It has a cart open. Let's see. I don't think I really have anything. Okay, anyway. So here's what this is going to look like. Okay, so cart open. So on your follow-up sequence, okay, you typically do what's called like a 7-day sequence, okay? I'll bring this down here. So this is day 1. And then this... Okay, day 1 right here, and this is what we would call cart open, okay? Hey, you can buy my stuff, you can buy my stuff, you can buy my stuff, okay? Now, your stuff's not open forever. We haven't even talked about what we're selling yet. That's next time. But it'll start with open, and it's going to end 7 days later, okay? Typically 7 days is pretty good, okay? It's going to end 7 days later with cart closed, okay? Cart closed. And in between day 1, in between day 1 and day 7, Okay, in between these days right here, in between those days, is your follow-up sequence. Okay? So just so you know, so you have an end to this thing, okay? The end of it is when you have a cart close. This will signify the end of your webinar sequence, webinar strategy for this particular client. It'll be done 7 days after your webinar, okay? This is why 40 to 50% of all your sales come post-webinar, because they're going to get you 7 days after your webinar, okay? Now the registration could open 4 to 14 days, excuse me, prior to your webinar, okay? So you get the idea that if you, let's say you open up a week before, we're sending emails a week before the webinar, and you're sending them emails a week after the webinar, there's going to be 14 consecutive days where they're getting emails from you. If they don't buy from you within those 14 days, chances are they're not going to buy from you for a while. Okay, so that part of the webinar didn't convince them to buy. We're going to have to hit them with another tactic somewhere else. Okay, but our strategy, which is where we got started here, our strategy was to build an overall system. That's what we just did. And the tactic that we're going to use is a webinar with all the email follow-ups. And the result that we want is before day 7, they show me the money, they buy what you're selling. Okay? Now, let's get to some of your questions. Okay? Okay, questions. Michelle says, I like the logic of how you guide them to the next step email. Yeah. Do you have recommendations for the type of bonuses for bonus 1, bonus 2, bonus 3, or at least the value of the bonuses? Yeah, so obviously, the further along you get, the more incentivized, the bigger the bonuses are, okay? The bigger the bonuses are. I'd like to give, for my show up bonus, I like to give some kind of, like, I like to give them like a free month into my, into my Launch Fuel. I like to give them a free masterclass, like where I'll teach you like how to launch your business within 7 days, and you don't have a list. Or I have a bonus that I can give them called how to get your first 100 email subscribers and turn that into $10,000. So I got a bunch of them. Now, you don't need to fret about the bonuses right now, because in a couple of weeks when we get to the content strategy, we will build these bonuses in the content strategy. And there will be 5 of them that we do. We'll build all 5 of them out, and you'll be able to use them as different assets for your business to get people online. So I wouldn't sweat it, but just, you want to get them on, you want to get them live, and you want to get them to stick around to the end. Those are the big ones, okay? But every time, like bonus 1 is the smallest thing you can give them. Bonus 5 is going to be pretty big, okay? And so they got to be pretty substantial, especially if you're going to be asking them for some big bucks. It's going to be pretty substantial, okay? Was he still mad at you after? You know what's so funny, Alfie, is we ended up canceling him as a client. He did his like 6th or 7th webinar with us, and we got over, he had just done over $500,000 in revenue. And this is like, he was only giving us like a $20 a day Facebook ad buy, like $20. That's it. And his whole, like, it wasn't a big dollar thing for us. Like, we charged him 10 grand for like everything, and it wasn't a ton. And so we built everything out. He gave us like a $20 a day Facebook thing. We worked the heck out of his product, and he sold $500,000. But he was one of those bully clients. Like, every time we'd get on, like, he made us feel like a piece of crap, to be honest with you. And so I just got to the point where I was just like, I don't need that. I don't need that in my life anymore. So, and I was at a really good position in my life where I just, like, I'm sort of clearing the deck. And this was just a few months ago. I'm just clearing the deck and I'm starting over. I want to build this, and I want to surround myself with amazing people. And so that's when I said I don't have to deal with belligerent, bully people anymore. I'm a really good guy, really kind guy, and I'm only going to surround myself with people that I can appreciate and they can appreciate me as well. So we ended up firing him as a client. And so I don't know what he's doing. I think, I'm sure he's doing still really good right now. We recommended some people to him, and I'm sure he's gone with them, and I'm sure they're doing really well because his product is solid. Danny says, with a $5,000 sell, do most people process that through a credit card processor or take a down payment and collect the rest later? I have never sold that high of a ticket online. Yeah. So for $5,000, you typically don't sell on a webinar. What you do is you get them on a phone call, and then you can do it there. $5,000. A lot of people don't have a $5,000 account, so they'll do it like via bank draft. And there's some tools that I can show you where they can do it via bank draft, or they can do it via PayPal credit, or they can do it via PayPal or something like that. But most people don't do credit cards on those unless they have an American Express card, because they don't have a $5,000 balance. So part of your thing is when you have a product like that, you're going to have to help them figure out how to pay for it. And we worked with him on that, and we were doing bank drafts with him, so people could just put the money in and draft it, or if they needed a payment plan, we could offer that. We could offer them that as well, okay? And so that's just sort of what we do. Danny said I just parted ways with him. Yeah, we're good. So, well, we only have 6 minutes, Michelle, so we're done at 4 o'clock today. So, so here's what I want you to do, gang, is I need to see your homework, okay? So I need to see your homework. So Carissa has built Google Drive folders for all of you guys where you can put your homework in, so we can take sneak peeks at them and look at them. But most of the time I will have you do assignments, and I will have you post them in the public room because I want you guys to work with each other on them. So if you guys can go to your public Facebook group and you can comment on each other's, like each other's product, give input, give feedback, encouragement, that type of thing, that would be super helpful. That'll make this community really, really, really good. So, well, hey, I'm having a blast. Is there anything I can help you guys with before we get done today? All right, I think that's what we got. So, hey guys, God bless you. I'm going to go ahead and download this. We'll upload it to YouTube and have it available in the Facebook group. And as soon as that membership portal is done, it will also be in the membership portal as well. Budgeting requirements. Yeah. So Michelle, with the budgeting requirements, I know you sent me a question on that the other day. We will do a whole thing on that. What I would say is, if you're going to do it all, okay, if you're going to do the whole thing, and I'll give you a budget worksheet. But if you're going to do it all, you're going to want to invest some money into a really good webinar software. I'll give you some recommendations. Don't buy anything yet. Of course, I have affiliate links for everything. So you're going to want a really good webinar software. You're going to want a good landing page software like a ClickFunnels. Okay. You are going to want a video system like a Vimeo or a YouTube. YouTube you can do unlisted now, so you don't even have to use the paid version for that. And then there's a couple other things that you want, but I would say you're going to be all in under $1,000. Okay, you'll be all in under $1,000, and if you're going to do everything if you can do everything yourself, and that would include your ad spend. Okay, so you're going to be in under $1,000 including your ad spend to launch your webinar. Okay, now you can obviously do more than that, but $1,000 you should be good. All right, guys, have a great night, and can't wait to see you guys next week.